Apologies for absence. Chris has emailed in.
And Darren.
Declarations of interest. Hope we all are. Approve the minutes. We've all had them and read them. Any problems with them? All those in favour? Thank you. Play area to receive report on monthly inspection, degree actions. I am meeting John Hood Saturday morning at 9 o'clock for a discussion on site about things. And I would like to float an idea that we empower, well, not empower, but we put my head's gone. We have insisted in place that if we need extra work from him, he can say, what about an extra hedge cut? We agree, yes, no, and he gets straight on it.
Yeah.
Hedge cut or grass cut or weed spraying or whatever. Which it really is where a lot of the problems have arisen this year.
Yeah, things growing faster.
Yeah, we had a long, slow start to summer, and suddenly everything went mad.
It got very warm and wet, and things started growing crazy.
Yeah, okay.
No, quite right.
So in terms of finance, what do we need to confirm that as principle?
Well,
I think it'll be. John Hood has priced everything on a. Starting with so much for a cut, so much for a grass rod, etc. So any single transaction won't be very much.
And we've got money, we put more in the pot to expect the more recent contracts to be.
Because we're asking them to do more than was done before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So could we put out some information to everybody else, like via Facebook or something, and just say that we have renewed the maintenance policy down there, remind them that we inspect regularly, but to say if anyone has any concerns, remind them just to email Claire so that she can do that, so that we don't get people whinging about what's not getting done. Because if we say that we're inspecting regularly, but obviously they'll just let us know if the things that we need doing, and we can do that.
And figure out the game.
I think
It's looking better than it's been.
Yeah.
So he's listening, I would say.
Yes, well, he has been chillied.
Yeah.
Right. Quotes received for the play area. Is this?
Well, yeah, so we sort of said we were going to try and kickstart our play area work again. I did have an application. I did have the pre-application advice came back, so we asked Planning Council if we would need planning permission for putting the tower iron in. It depends on the height and size. So if it's under, how tall is it? You know, if it's under 4 metres, we don't need planning because it's permit development. If it's over 4 metres, we need to go to planning. And then the other measurement didn't make sense. The other measurement said it had to be, but I think it's more thinking of a building.
It's 4 points.
I've got that.
You just chop the roof off it.
Parish Council got permitted development to carry out work ancillary to its functions, but there's a maximum size, so it can't be more than 4 metres. 4 metres, sorry, and it can't be more than 200 cubic metres in capacity, because I think it's talking about a building.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. It's classed as permitted, aren't they, when it comes to new structures, but is that classed as a big structure?
It's, yeah, so it said, I've got it saved, and I'm just find it, I can tell you.
It would be
says,
getting a photographical survey.
right, it says, so what I asked to is saying to replace old equipment like for like plus addition community hall play structure exceeding 3 metres in height, and they said that it counts as any small ancillary building works or equipment on land belonging to the parish council or maintained by them for the purposes of any function exercised by them. So it's basically ancillary. It's an ancillary piece of equipment related to our functions, which is providing play area. the limit is 4 metres. Any works not of, or equipment not exceeding 4 metres or 200 cubic metres in capacity. Now, that's a bit of a meaningless number.
Well, you'd have a ground area on your height
Yeah.
capacity.
Yeah, so it's 4.7 metres high,
So it's really planning.
Right.
unless you take the roof off. If you take the roof off it, then it would be.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
No, just.
Well, lots of them don't have it. I mean, the ones Swan
Yeah.
used to have a roof on it.
Sure, parts very nice.
Smaller.
What's it made of, the roof?
I don't think you're right.
HDP, high density polyethylene.
I think that involves building developments.
No, because it says any small auxiliary building, works, or equipment. That's equipment.
Yeah, you don't need plan permission for rugby goalpost. They're more than 4 metres high.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's not a, I don't know.
It's a piece of dirt.
Because it's temporary. I think you would need planning permission, but you would need planning consent, which is slightly different. So you could get the plans.
Because you can get a legal certificate, you can get a certificate of legal development, what it's called, can't you, to show you
Yeah.
around.
You're not changing the use of the playground.
Or, like, do we, the cost of planning permission is peanuts in respect to, do we just go ahead with it?
Yeah, it's
Because, you know,
more
if it
the
ticks the
time
box.
thing that's the issue. It's every time we put a stall on things, I lose a window for grant applications for what's coming up, what's available. From now until the end of January is the golden time. The other option would be, could we put it up and then take the roof off if anybody complains?
Yeah, I think we have to.
Or we purchase it
Yeah,
with a roof, but put it up without the roof to then retrospectively, if we want to put the roof on, applying for
That,
planning.
yeah.
Is it essentially?
Yes,
There's
that's,
nothing saying that, do you know what, we want to extend this structure.
if we get permission, fine. If we don't, it doesn't.
We don't want the roof up.
it's gonna, I think people are gonna think a bit odd without the roof.
Well, we need to go down to planning permission.
Yeah.
But you could then put it up without a roof until planning get approved. It's not going to stall, you know, if we get the building consent, it's not going to stall, but the
How
actual
easy is it to affix the
installation.
roofs?
Sorry?
How easy is it to install the roofs? I mean, is that something that?
In half a day.
No, not a problem. Not a problem.
How specific is this for us? 100%.
What do you mean, how specific is it?
Is this what will sit?
Yes,
Yes.
Is it just,
yes, yes. So I
Well,
also
an
brought,
actual rendering of Felton Park with the wall pension like that.
Close.
It's very close to it. isn't it?
close. So I brought the layout plan so you can kind of see. So this is your existing path. If you can imagine, you've got your current mound there with a triangular A-frame there. This is your basket swing. So that's where it will
So
sit.
replacing the witch's hat and the triangle.
Yeah.
And there's a little walkway.
The little walkway will stay.
It's like a
There's a
little-
wooden walkway.
Oh, sorry, yes, the
With a
wooden walkway,
slippery
yes.
deck that's still.
That's what you actually use.
So the line gets up there, if you would.
losing the witch's hat?
Yeah.
Losing it?
Yes.
That seems a shame, that.
Yeah, but this will be.
But
That's be better.
Yes.
And then,
You could always relocate the witch's hat if you've got space. You could move your witch's hat over to your photography area.
which one's the just hat out of the two?
The conical.
Contract. Was that not one that we potentially thought that we could move up to the old? Good evening. Yeah, we could potentially move it to the old one. If it could be dismantled and reassembled. Over.
Yeah.
You know, we can get the bike massive grass area there, it'd be nice to put a bit of play equipment up there.
And it's a sturdy, standalone piece.
Yeah, all it needs to do is dismantled and then reassembled up there properly, tensioned down and everything, so I wouldn't imagine a reinstall up there would be difficult.
I don't know how each of the anchor points, where all the webs go down into the ground, they are securely anchored in something.
Yeah.
But again, that would have to be dug out for that, putting it going in.
Yes.
So,
Yes, but it's, on the post itself would obviously have to be very carefully set. It's not simple, but it could be quite doable.
It is very doable. It's not a problem to do, and there is only one caveat of we don't know what's underground. So, so when it's taken out, if there is anything, then
And you can move it, if you wanted to keep it in the playground, you can move it to the, near where the swings are, those little tiny sand pits, those for the toddlers to climb around.
Yeah,
To be honest, they're the ones that climb them anyway, the big kids do,
Yes.
really.
that would be a perfect location for it because you've got the loose fill. The loose fill is more suited to items like that because to keep tension, you have what's called turnbuckles.
Yes, yes.
And you need to be able to access those. So being loose fill, fulfilling.
Lindsay occasionally tries to tighten them. This is
There you go.
this is the force like surface, isn't it? It's,
Yes.
yeah,
The resin
steps.
bonded ground.
Well, that's going to be the ground, isn't it?
So we've costed for it in the existing loose fill. So this will be filled with loose fill safety surface.
Which is what?
What you've got there, it's
So
only
it
playback.
could be playback or it could be the rubberised playback. So
Yes, it could.
Right, so what decisions are needed? Are we at the point of making a decision, making a recommendation?
Yeah, we need to, we're going to have to obviously grant funds to part of it. So that's really the next step, which is it?
That's the.
Don't gas it too loud.
and what discount applies to that?
You have discount off the products there.
So that's the big one,
Yeah, so
That's good. It's decent.
we've really tried to look after you on
Yeah.
keeping it as best we can.
And we'll get VAT back, so really we don't have to sort of,
Yeah, so
we
it's
have to
like
fund, we have to
yeah,
bank
yeah.
from that amount, the net amount, because
But
then we would pay
you
that
can
from
keep
someone else and reclaim.
That's good.
And if we've got the money coming in, hopefully from the doctor surgery land, we've got some money sitting, we could use the money we've got sitting in various reserve funds at the moment, and then we could apply for grant for the remaining bit, which shouldn't be too much, so hopefully we'll be able to find.
The problem is whenever we lower ground, it just turns into a swamp. It's an idea, but I don't think it's a viable option here.
To do what, I mean?
That if we were to put it in a pit, in order to just like to.
But it would still be 4 metres, presumably measured from ground surface though.
Just don't measure it there. Just don't measure it there.
I'm not sure that works, John.
Get a top of the survey and take an average. The plan application, if I crack on with it.
I'll have a chat I'll catch Rob and just check with him that he,
Yeah, I mean, I think for this, because we're looking at a small pot of money, I don't want us to get hung up on the time frame, because I think it's relatively doable.
Are we removing a spring set?
So on there, I've also included
Remove police that needs.
you asked for the removal of one swing set and the inclusion of another swing set. So that includes
That includes that as
So,
well.
so yes, it's the junior swings and the tower, which are the two pieces that we
Okay.
need to do.
Yeah.
And I think if we kept the, especially if we could keep the witch's hat and all that would be,
See how it comes when it comes out the ground. So.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's quite a lot of space.
How did that do on the ROSPA inspection? They were,
Which one?
The witch's hat, that was just a piece of time.
We said that was one to keep an eye on.
Just,
Yeah.
yes, just tweak the turn
Because
on.
it's still in decent nick, isn't it?
It's
That's
actually,
something
it
you
depends how it
can
comes out.
add for a re-installation of that somewhere else. Just
yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
It's essentially, can I
Yeah.
go for a second? So, essentially you're looking at the same price of removing as it is to install it. So you're looking at say £750.
Yeah, so that's
That's a ballpark figure.
Yeah.
That's
so I
everything.
think it's for that. So
So we're going to recommend that. We'll start looking for some grants.
Yeah.
I'll check on the planning thing and get something in if we need to.
Good. This is such a,
it's less than 4 metres as well. So.
It is it without
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking because it's a separate area, we wouldn't be in that.
which one?
Which is yeah. It's
Yeah.
less than
Oh,
4,
yeah. And he
Yeah.
sort of said if we're replacing, I won't say if we're replacing like for like, and we're. But I think it's all less than 4 million. Yeah.
Have you got any time tomorrow?
Well, apart from that, I'll have a sick child that mix around, so I can use them watching TV and mixing because we're not on those. That's fine. So.
Do we want to look at a backup plan if we do get planning permission for it?
Take the roof off.
Well, it's just going to be a temporary for
Yeah.
right.
It looks like it's just, are they both the same height, like 2 towers?
is the roof integral to keeping the 4 posts?
No.
No, and there is still space underneath. You know, they can play underneath. So it's not as if
Yeah.
there's no sheltered areas. It's
Yeah.
actually still got shelter underneath, and they can play shops and things.
So
If anything, some things the roof off, maybe.
the beauty of all compound products is that they are totally modular and tweakable and changeable.
Right.
So I think originally we had this in blue and green colour here, but we changed it to the brown posts and the dark green to make it more of a natural look. Similarly, going with the roof, I can take the roof off and see how we've got these inlets here. Some people quite often want us to put those inlets on all of those panels, which opens it up slightly. And similarly, I can take the full roof off and just give you a structure without a roof.
They're really nice. Do you just do them as like little hides, just like the roof on the posts?
Yeah, we can do it.
So to get us low 4 metres.
Just as a
Just
separate.
a standalone, like, I mean, one of the biggest things that gets used in that play park is the laurel hedge.
Yeah.
It's like a laurel hedge that the kids
It's
have
got a hole in it.
gone
It's
into
got a
it,
hollow.
so they can hide in it, and they just, because people try to get us to get it
Okay.
taken out, but I think like,
Height is the central post, not the roof.
But, yeah, but if we take the roof off,
You don't need central
this central post will come to here.
Right. And then easy reinstable.
Could you, if we wanted to then retrospectively put a roof on it?
We could do
You
that,
could do
yes.
that.
Yes, yeah.
What are the posts made of?
Galvanised steel.
But as you say, we could always get them, and we could, you know, they could be attached. They could put elsewhere in the play area or in the rec field as a bit of a. You know, if we don't end up putting them on, we could probably use them to get.
No, that's what I mean.
There's options.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
You know, so that it
Or like, you know, the teenage shelter or whatever,
Exactly,
so.
We did a play area in Ashington where we had a similar unit that has a flag on the top, and the flag made it 4.2 metres. So the idea was when we installed it, we weren't going to put the flag on. Unfortunately, that message never got through to the installers, and the flag went on. That play area has been installed for 40 years now with
Yeah. No. Really bad when that miscommunication happens. How unfortunate.
Yeah, and you could say it's 4 metres to that point, so
Yeah.
that's where we measured it.
Right.
10 metres short.
Monday, Monday.
Not that I'm encouraging that, but it's all flexible.
Yeah,
right,
Do
right.
it.
There's a lot.
If you need us to install that less than 4 metres, we can do that.
Devil's advocate question.
Yes.
These banister bars,
Yes.
presumably ROSPA is absolutely happy with them because that's inviting somebody to fall.
Yeah, but they're really popular now.
Yeah.
You've got up in
And they just
Aye.
climb on and hang on them.
I don't understand how you work with them, but
They
you
just,
get
they all, yeah, they
slide
slide down.
under their armpits down the base and stuff.
There's one thing, I saw a girl coming down one road and she was like, just like you,
Slide
just,
down.
yeah. And she came off and she was just like, oh. I mean, her mum was laughing, her mum was filming it, you know, I was like, oh, fine.
Yeah, they are really, really popular, and children using a variety
They
of
climb
ways.
over and then.
I've even seen a child surf down it, so 2 feet surf down it.
Yeah.
If they feel comfortable doing it, they will do it.
Can an adult fit in there okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why are you looking forward to trying it out, Adam?
Well, no,
It's all
just
about
as like
getting in.
Yeah.
I was just like,
Well,
when
it's
it
stuck
gets
in
there,
there,
it's
and
like,
it's
it
like,
just refuses to come out.
Say that fits in there, and you've got to get up there first.
Yeah, it's getting up
So,
there,
yeah.
as long as you can get up there.
Yeah. Children find it really easy, but yeah, 47-year-old man speaking from experience knows when you have to go and inspect it.
When you retrieve, you're an offspring.
Yeah.
Is this one of your favourites?
Yes.
It was got a favourite.
I've got many favourites,
Right.
but I love this piece. We're about to install it in Threlkel, and I love it because it caters for such a wide age range.
I think that's why we liked
That's
it.
it,
It
before
was,
it turned up, and you know,
Yeah,
setting up there.
and it's got challenge on it. It's got exciting pieces on it, but it's also got sensory pieces on it. It's got these bubble windows, and this is
Yeah.
super popular. You know, time and again, look at me. You know, so yeah, I really do like it.
Yeah.
Once it's installed, do we have to get it then ROSPA inspected?
I think you've got it included for a safety inspection.
Yeah,
So it should be first initial inspection and then you add it onto
Yeah.
our annual report.
Yes, but it's just.
It depends on when we do that sort of thing.
But you
You can
arrange that
commission
initial
it.
inspection.
Yes, we
yeah?
do. I'm just looking for a quotation. wherever
It's
it's on.
400 quid or something in there.
So we have included it.
Yeah, you can get it.
I thought that. So on here we've got a playground inspection. So that is an RPII inspection. So that is the first one for you.
Yep, that's up and running.
And then it's up and running, and then
Got to quite enough from there.
yeah.
And what's the lead time on this if once we order and
At the moment we're 10 weeks from receipt of order, but that varies according to.
Install time.
Uh,
Just think how long we have to shut the park down for.
you with all the groundworks as well, you'd be about 2 weeks.
But hopefully.
And would you want sole use of that area, or could we put a cordon to keep half it
We
open?
would cordon that off. So again, we quote for Harris fencing.
Mm.
We would section off the area that we're working in.
So finger map, but you could potentially have, let's say, the swings over at the far side, it's still in use or something there.
Yeah. If you
wanted to.
it's entirely up to you how we work it. We could
Or
close
you
the whole
already
park,
close it for 2 weeks.
or just keep that area however you want to work it. Really.
What about access? We've got the big gate at the far end of the
Yes.
play park.
Yep.
Presumably you need that opened.
We would, yes. So if you could get a key from you, that would be wonderful.
no, we're not
Got a big
cut it last time. did we?
Right.
Okay.
We've got it's like
We
an
have
old
access.
rusted chain on it.
Right. Okay.
One way or
It's
another.
probably not been open since the park was installed, to be honest.
Good. Any other questions we ought to ask?
When would you like it installed?
Tomorrow.
Once we just it's
When do you want
sort
for the
of
piece of
Yeah.
tomorrow?
Yeah. So.
and in terms of that's a good question actually. In terms of the payment for it,
Yeah.
is it all paid up front? Is it paid in like
And
you
just
pay on
pay
order
that
for
over
the
20 years.
installation?
We would ask for payment up front, but that would be for the products.
Yeah.
So you would get an invoice for the products. Then we wouldn't release the products from the factory until we get that payment.
Yeah.
And then the installation, safe service, all the rest of it
Yes,
will
once
pay
on completion.
installed.
So on completion.
and CPC,
Oh,
and CPC.
Stage. First stage and final stage.
That's, yeah.
Thank you.
So the first stage would be then
Yeah.
circa 30k.
Yeah.
Well, 30, whatever that's.
John, any questions?
Nope, I'm quite happy with that, looks really good.
I'm over the moon.
Yeah.
You don't sound sorry. Hey, I'm over the moon.
I love this about plan.
Joining in?
There's a size, footprint.
Yes, so I will send Claire the product data sheet, which has the footprint on it.
And I noticed you have a specific plan for our park there.
Yeah.
Does that each dimension there?
I can get one with full dimensions.
No, you really,
Well, we'll need it for the draft planning, we'll have to, you know, we'll have to.
Yeah. So it's to scale.
Okay.
Is that sufficient?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it would be helpful if we have a soft copy of that.
Yeah, just because if we can't just, since it's done, might as well include it with the plan or something.
That'll be within the morning class.
Thanks.
Right, great.
Thank you very much, that's good.
No problem at all. Okay.
Can I just ask one thing? Sorry, I know you've been just because I really want to get the back fence done. Is there any fencing that you do which is actually a play feature?
What she's thinking of is
It's
like
like
back,
fence.
generally like trim trail balance, sorry, a balance trail.
I think that was
Effectively,
no, because it's
like
like
so,
small distances, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
as in, you know, like things, it's basically like, almost
It was
like
like
climbing, yeah, climbing
Yeah,
walls.
sensory walls, like that sort of thing there, stuff on paneling.
Yes, is
But
the
you could-
answer.
Yeah.
But it's quite.
Right.
Low.
Okay.
Do you know what, so it's the rear fence of so it's the northern boundary of the play area. At the moment it's a chain link fence, which is a nightmare, 'cause it's obviously,
Vegetation on the other side.
It needs to
and we're thinking if we
Yeah.
put something close panelled in, whether we could have like a climbing feature along it, or, because it could be turned into a climbing, like, could a section of it be climbing walls, I mean, as long as there was a foot.
It would have to be a
Maybe
slow
in the
piece,
reviews,
not
Yeah.
The current climbing frame.
but things like that are possible.
It's like, it's too tricky when that wasn't too.
Just the fence on it,
So it's
it's
almost
okay,
like a
and
board
then-
with side as well, so it can be, so it's got a section climbing holes at the
Yeah.
top.
Okay, that's fine.
And
Yeah,
that's what,
you get
it's something
that.
that
Yeah.
effectively, yeah.
So the beauty, the company is a massive company, and we have a thing called variants where I can bring that up on my laptop and I can take panels off, put panels on, so it's really dead simple. We also have a design studio where they can take products and put them together. So recently I built a really big castle that was 4 units, all made together, and they just put bridges on. We also have a bespoke team, and we're told that we have to use this because it's a fantastic ability, and we can build things like lions and things like that. And I sold a really great concept to somebody, and then it went through to tender, and they asked us to do a bespoke piece. And exactly what you said. The price just went goosh, and I was just priced out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if we can stick to this
Yeah,
sort of
yeah.
stuff,
Cool.
totally agree.
That's good.
I think so, okay, because that,
Really helpful.
yeah, okay.
Thank you
Answers
very
some of your
much.
questions. I'll leave all those with you, and I'll send PDF copies
That's
to you
brilliant.
in the morning. Lovely to meet you all.
Thank you.
Get on with your meeting. Okay.
Thank you.
You keep these if you want, because I've got,
I just see it now.
Okay,
Thank
see you all again soon. Thanks a lot.
So then
I am over the moon.
Would you like to tell your fees that then?
work's been put in.
Do you want to just answer the contract stuff and just recap what we were saying about meeting with John?
Meeting John Hood Saturday morning, 9 o'clock, to discuss what's happened and way forward. And possibly asking him to consider doing extra cuts as per his original per action price cuts. In terms of contract, no. The only other thing was you had an interest in MUGA, which is yet to come up.
Donna, did you meet it on Saturday? Did you meet with you to speak to John?
I don't know. It could be discussed.
I mean, I can
The
be there.
fourth-
Depends on the weather, doesn't it? Really, Anne?
Yes, yes. I was going to say to him, either we do it on the phone at 9 o'clock, or he comes to me rather than on site. Shall we keep in picture
Yeah, just drop me a bell, whatever.
what's happening?
Because I think sometimes two people,
Yes, thinking more than one.
well, and also you've got a witness to what's said.
Quotes,
Oh,
long quotes, other quotes.
Other quotes is the same, isn't it?
Yeah, so far,
There are other quotes.
oh yes, other quotes for that. Well, we have the so we probably will have to put forward another quote or two quotes to the charity, to any grant application. However, it may depend on I don't know, I think it might depend on the particular
Will
grant.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I think even if we do seek quotes, we do have the other quotes, whether it's worth renewing them, the ones that we originally had, because we put 3 quotes to the village fair and they clearly came back in favour
Yeah,
of this,
yeah,
quite considerable margin. So we would just be jumping through getting a quote for the sake of, so I think I'll have a look at the grant application say, if we do need to submit more than one, I will renew the other 2. I'll ask for a renewed figure for the other 2 quotes. And then we could take it from there. But I think our preference and the village's preference was definitely this one.
Oh, it was very much chosen by the people. I mean, that's not to say, I mean, we've got a huge amount of thought into which ones, you know, we're going to be appropriate based on the play activity in the park that have been surveyed and things, but
I can find out. I think like, yeah.
Play area, we're sorted.
No, park.
Oh, park.
So the people who gave us the quote last time, I went back to them. This is one where we've only got one quote because if you remember the reason we went to this company last time was because they're reasonably local, they were prepared to deliver within a reasonable time scale. When I rang up other companies, it's one of these things, you know, when you search Bark North East or Bark North East, then actually Google's telling you a place in Wales because it lists North East on their website somewhere, and they were huge delivery. You do remember they were really quite huge delivery charges.
Yeah.
So she's updated the quote. 40 metres cubed of clay bark. It's on here. Yeah. The 40 metres cubed of clay bark would be 3,100 plus VAT. That's delivery on the Arctic. John had originally at the time gone back and asked for a price for an 8-wheeler, and that was an additional £150. Now she hasn't come back and updated that, but let's say it's going to be in the region of £150 to have it on the 8-wheelers over an Arctic.
But the new building down there proves you can get an Arctic down there.
3,100.
Can't get a rocket launcher down there, but you can get an Arctic.
But that's actually you can't go distracted a rocket launcher on the right field, and it was too wide.
No, we just took off the
So we could take that out.
You can extract that. So just for comparison purposes, they're 77.50 a cube in comparison to Compan at 249 a cube.
But Compan have always said To be fair, all the companies that I spoke to have always said, you're better getting the play surface through somebody else because they can't
You
get
can't
it
beat
cheaper
that because
because they're sort of
which
expensive.
that might be something that we can extract from, say again,
Wasn't transfer stupid with that? Because I was getting cube bags, I'm sure they're less than 70 for the bag,
You're about 70, I think.
£7 a bag cheaper.
Yeah.
But it's 40 bags.
but yeah, that's, and then the.
And I think they might have they might well have been prepared to, oh no, because they wouldn't do a delivery, would they?
Delivery now. So that won't get them. Fair.
It's a convenience of it.
So you should probably go back for completeness and check those other companies. It's not from free delivery for and then they are.
But then that's a.
But I think at the time,
For similar
well, we
requirements,
ruled all of those out and then went to this person as a
Did.
standalone quote.
Yeah.
We can go back and check.
But that's also that potential cost saving from getting it
Yeah.
with compound, or, if we can get that sort of quantum.
Sounds good. So this price is good for the next, effectively 5-6 months, isn't it? We're going to get put a lorry on
Very well.
this is frozen. Right.
It isn't down your need of it.
Yes. Right. Play area.
Well, just to go back, if we did want it delivered while the field is not really ideal, we could put it on the car, we did say we could top the car park and put it on the car park space, instead of putting it, instead of putting it in the, or you could do it on the gates and get it dumped immediately, put a top down, get it dumped immediately on the western side of the gate, or something like that, it doesn't have to be.
Immense job.
Well, there's no difference from wheeling it, yeah, but it's no different, I mean, if we're going to have to wheelbarrow it, the actual how far you travel with the wheelbarrow, as long as you're not talking the length of the field, going from the car park
thinking
in.
of keeping it in the, we put sheets down, a huge area of sheets and then a huge area of.
Is it going to fit on the concrete? I mean, we only got 25 last time and the heat was pretty big on the concrete slab.
They're massive. Get rid of it.
But it'll have to, we need,
A serious workforce
no, we need to clear the concrete slab
first.
first. That's going to need.
But what I'm just saying, what I mean is, I know it's a big job for many, but I just think if we
But yeah,
if we can't,
if
if it
it's
looks
good.
like it's going to be soggy from now till March.
What's the problem with opening the fence and backing the wagon into the park and dumping it in a big pile where the tractor tyres are? It's going to damage the hedgerow a little bit, but
Dumping it over the hedge.
for the price of putting in a large access gate, which would, like a 10 foot, 12 foot, well, it would have to be 12 foot, putting in a 12 foot access gate into the play yard would probably aid the new project.
To take that,
So
take
they
that
did
job on the
that,
side.
the
So
back
you
of the
Yes.
then you just put the wagon as far in the park as you can,
Yes.
and then you don't need as many wheelbarrow.
cover over the path.
Yeah.
That's where it'd be. Yeah.
Right. So how do we get that?
It's time to get hedges out.
Let's strip the hedge out somehow. Posts and gate.
We can do that though. It's not a contract job. We can do that when they outcome.
Well, there's no, you asked.
Yes. Do you have?
I know you have a.
All of the equipment necessary.
You have any digger?
Yes.
Right. So we
So what kind of, sorry, John, what kind of fence are you talking about in terms of like security for toddlers squeeze getting?
So you know the gate, that's at the other side that we can't really do.
Oh, you just put a few gates on?
Just get one 12-foot gate. Like the entrance to the wreck.
Yeah.
Just put another one of them in.
Yeah.
The most convenient space in the fence.
Yeah.
And then you've got access for an ambulance. You've got access for anything you want.
You say access in.
Which is good. If you want, I can price it up and bring it back to you.
Yes, please do.
So we will formally record.
That I will.
Yeah.
I will organise a quote for a new access to the park. And we can still lock it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not openable to the normal public, members of the public, rather.
Yes.
And when we need access to do stuff like this,
Yeah.
there's already a,
Yes.
there's already a,
Because this is a continual problem,
Yes.
the access getting into the
Yes.
play park, isn't it? So I think it's
We,
and I think you should be able to go the left hand, the north edge of the white sign. You might have to move one of them tractor tires, but that's and because you can take enough hedge and enough fence out to put a gate in, and it'll look like it's always been there.
Yep.
Right, so I'll get on with that.
cool.
excellent. Thank you.
It does seem weird that the big gate's at the other end of the park as well.
Yeah.
We've done play park now.
35 years that.
Right.
Don't stop.
Brickfield, drainage issues. Have we had any quotes?
Yes,
Wonderful.
they're in here. Right, strange. Right. So, I emailed about 5 different companies. I've had 3 quotes back. Drain Doctor, Jim, very pleasant man. He's going to charge, he's the cheapest, £725 for jetting the camera, or £925 to bring a gully zipper on and then jet and suck it out and do the camera as well, and then we get the camera recording for afterwards. Jet Air have given us estimated quote. She was very unsure about the access. I think Jim had been on the field before, the drain doctor, because he seemed much more confident when I spoke to him. She wanted to have a site visit, and I've emailed back to say, yes, please can we arrange a site visit. She never came back yet, but she's talking about £850, which was comparable, but then she's also talking about having a remote wheel with a support vehicle for £950, which the first guy wasn't planning on doing. So whether or not that's, I don't know whether that's, which one's realistic. And then
Is she just covering her back?
that's why she wanted a site visit.
Yes. So there's a question mark on the wall.
Yeah. And then Mantank, they were £1,000 plus £300 remote tracked jetting wheel and support van 200 quid. So they're 1,900, so they were in the middle. So basically 2 of them have said we would need to bring a remote hose on and a van with that, and then the first guy didn't say that. So that's the difference between the quotes.
Metro Road said quite happily come up and have a look and give you a price.
Did they? I did email them back and get a price.
They are £125 an hour rather than the job plus that.
Yeah, well, it's all plus that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but they did say that their normal vans can only do between 80 and 90 metres. So the person who's offering an extra reel, and so that might be a little bit, might have slightly more of an idea what needs to happen. Because the longest run will be more than 100 metres.
How much do you say now?
125 plus that. 150 an hour.
So
They're expecting a football. But I've said that.
oh right, I need to know.
But Irish Council will be in.
I did contact them, but it was probably by their website.
Right, so I should probably.
No, I'm asking exactly what the work as well.
Tricia.
Sure.
She owns the business. And one of the engineers there used to work for me. So he's talked to Tricia, and she said that she'd happily send somebody over. So
Smooth.
He has now. And then I did contact a company called Charlton Drainage, who sort of in Hexham direction, but I haven't heard back from them.
There's lanes for drains.
And
There's
we've
another
got,
one if you
I
want.
was going to say, we've got enough, haven't we? But it's just whether or not we need to get.
Lanes for drains.
So we need a little bit more information, really, then. So
I think
I don't know if we need to be careful with people that appreciate there's no water supply there, and everything's got to be tanked in.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is why I'm the site.
The vans have a tank, so
So
that-
vans will
Yeah.
be considerable amount of water. Yeah. But the problem is, the field is so wet. That the van will go slow,
Well, that's what-
slow down as it becomes a step.
I think that's what the jet air person was basically saying. They were saying that it sounds like you might need tracked access across the field.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, possibly at this time of the year, but I don't know. So I think she was saying you'd either need the remote wheel or you need tracked access to bring it across.
I've got a metro run van incredibly stuck in my head. Impressively so. But my field is wetter.
So
Yes.
if I arrange site visits with Mr. Rod and Jet Air, that's what we need to do now with those two.
Yes.
So getting there, but then, yeah.
Right. Consider whether goalposts need to be included in the ROSPA inspection.
Yes, they do. I've picked out a little information leaflet from the FA. Should I just allow it? So this is safety information from the, so basically I looked at the ROSPA website and it directed me to the FA's goalpost guidelines. We basically do need to be carrying out inspections, regular inspections of goalposts. I think it's sensible to include them in the ROSPA because what they do for ROSPA is we get charged a basic rate plus an amount per item, which isn't very much, and we're already into the per item charges because I think it's like you get 3 items within the basic cost plus a certain amount per additional item. So we're already in the additional items, so I think we should just add the goalposts in. Just as a list of safety things there, they should be anchored securely to the ground, which Adam tells me they are, because they're pretty solid.
I've got ground sockets.
We don't call them, we're not classing them as portable ones because that presumably would be the wheeled versions. We may need a sign to go up somewhere to say you are not to climb them.
You probably stick stickers on the bars.
Okay.
You know, say do not climb.
It's probably worth having a look at just general Redfield sign maybe.
Well, we've got that
ones
on
they could
there.
climb on the.
We've got that on the list, right?
Yeah.
That's one of the things I haven't got to yet.
So yeah.
So yes, I'll see. Well, I'll see if I can find some like just stickers off Amazon
Yeah.
somewhere.
So I think so then that is, yes, does need to be put on the.
I think it would be sensible. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So that's that. And I'm assuming we don't have any metal cut books or anything like that on ours, okay?
I've not seen it yet, I will look.
It said net should only be secured by plastic grips. Net grips, okay, they haven't got nets in, have they? But I'm just checking, they haven't got any metal. I can't remember putting any metal
Pretty
bits
sure that
attached.
happens, but it's worth
You know, I think it's a sliding track thing that
Yeah.
we don't have any things that go into the sliding track thing.
I shall.
It's fairly modern rules.
Yes.
If I have to go at the moment, I think I will.
Yeah.
I will head this meeting to the wall, that was it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just advance my leave, I'm going to have to go.
Also,
I'm about to get a phone call telling me these somewhere else.
That's fine.
Rec field and play area regeneration projects. Now, MUGA surface, I suggest we move that to last to get all the odds and salts out of the way, because this could get a few minutes.
Sorry, Anne.
Well,
We'll rattle through. We'll rattle
doesn't
through.
matter, carry on.
Quick
If I
update.
fall asleep, just give me a
Give me a
nudge when I'm able.
Quick update on the planning commission for the building. They came back to me to say that they just needed me to provide some information. The plan needed to have included, which it didn't. It needed to be the red line needed to be extended all the way to the highway. So that's it. I just have to provide the information to the case officer and then they'll be able to progress things. So that's flexible, easy job. Yeah. And then they basically calculate the cost on that, so it might mean that the fees are more basically.
All the way to the main street?
Yeah.
Yes.
We also have to tell them where the access of the doors will be on the building, even if we then say it's a reserved matter, we might change it, which seems pointless, but okay. Yeah, so it's it's just information to pass on, so it shouldn't be too hard.
Right. Action list. anything here that new information to add?
The stuff that I've asked we've mostly discussed.
Treating Japanese knotweed is an ongoing
Yeah.
matter that we hope to settle in the near future.
And moved your rubbish on
Oh, around the deck, around the
around the
containers.
containers. I don't know whether it's on metaphor.
It is.
Take it off.
A week ago, I saw Arkles were there, so I went and spoke to them and I said, there's an old line marker
Sorry.
there, can I sling it in your skip, please? They said, yes, certainly. So I went and looked for it.
No,
Go on.
dealt with.
And then twice and not do it.
Mm-hmm. At least he said yes.
That's good. Then I'm not the line marker, it's like, can we get rid of something else?
Moles to monitor,
It's going to be interesting with the mark.
field surface,
Yeah.
associated bark, building wire, tree works,
She works ongoing. I need to raise a walk round with contractor to try and finalise.
Can we record that you have this in hand?
Yes. The woodland walk probably wants to take it off here
Yeah.
because that would we give that a little bit of a
Yes.
It won't happen, I do it still.
It might be one that we've got, or it might be one that we've got property management, we'll just, yeah.
It's very happy. There's a lot of trees that are problems.
So we'll sort the trees out first.
That needs to be looked at after we've got tree work.
Yeah.
It's,
So I'll just say that we refer to after tree work.
because it could change the landscape like tree work.
At the very end, we have completed repair fence northwest corner. That's sort of been in the little gate, hard left up into that corner, but it's full.
There's a right good fence on the other side of it now though. I've built the fence on the other side and nothing there. At this point. Thing is though, if there's anything like that comes up, we can probably tie that in, put the gate posts in for the new bit, because we're going to be in the area. And we can probably clear that concrete pile over as well.
So is that fencing surrounding, is it? No. I ticked off, it's completed, is it not completed?
It was going to be,
Untick.
aren't it?
So, but that'll be looked at with the new gateway.
But it's fully overgrown, it's not being used as a shortcut. Update on finances.
Right, not very much has changed from last time, we've paid a little bit out, so, so let's think this out for you, but one of the, I'm trying to think what to say, recreation field, general budget, and the little minor expenditure one is 346732. The court service, we've got 12 grand there, drainage, we've got just under 3, multi-user building, we've got just under 14, play area, we've got just over 7, so we've got £40,000, just over £40,000 sitting across the 5 pots that are.
If we take out the play area regeneration, we've got plenty of money in cash in hand to do all the jobs we're looking at. Right. Items for next agenda.
Fence. And gate.
Fence.
Park. Yes.
And drainage, I guess, as well.
Drainage.
It's nearly half term now.
Not here enough.
Sorry?
Not here enough.
Right. Anything else for next agenda? MUGA service.
Hey.
You've all saw the watch of emails I sent round.
Yeah.
And the one you forgot that I sent round.
to, as a consequence of accidents, an accidental meeting, I bumped into Greg Anderson from Swarland, who was instrumental in being involved with the Reno Court jobs up at the Swarland area. And he came and looked at ours and said the surface was pretty much identical to the state of theirs before they had theirs done. Since then, theirs got a bit tatty. It was pressure washed and came up like new.
So after repairs it got tatty? And then
It's just got grubby.
Okay.
Didn't need repairs or anything. Yes. But they pressure washed it, which was recommended. It came up like new. There's no sign of any wear on it. I've not been up to inspect it recently. But there we are. They're quite happy with having had Reno Court to do it. That's the big point. He's been and looked at ours. Paul Reno Courts has been 2 hours, looked at it several times, so he knows what he's dealing with.
And that's the ones that did the vinyl, that's the same?
Yes. We inquired about guarantees, and he has said, it's in here somewhere on the emails. But anyway, he's saying wear and tear on an old surface, he won't guarantee.
The only difference between him and soft spacers for the same degree of finish was that they were guaranteed for 12 months on their quote, but it was, but he wouldn't guarantee it at all, would he?
No.
That's a bit disappointing.
So it's
Yes,
it makes a difference to the price though. It's quite a considerable difference in price between soft spacers equivalent to Renner courts.
yes.
That's one of the things that.
So you need to think about whether the guarantee is worth, I think it's about £1,000, isn't it? Because effectively the two systems are identical, what they're doing and
So
what
that's
they're
an apples and
identical.
apples, and then just one won't guarantee, one will guarantee.
For 12 months,
It's
it's very unlikely.
No, but then if it's very unlikely, then why wouldn't someone warrant it for that then? Would be my question.
Well, let's say that was my question,
You
why
know,
was
How
why
much?
was there not guaranteed?
It's really just service that one graph. And that's you, at least this company will get a bit of get on. What's the difference between them cost wise? Is it like £1,000?
It is
How between them?
yes, it's roughly £1,000 between soft services and then the court.
And overall cost is 7 or 8, is it, or something?
No, it's about,
Four and a half and 5 then.
Yeah. Soft services 6,948, so effectively £7,000 plus VAT.
And Renault is
£4,000.
That's including that. So it's only 3
Sorry.
so it's like half price.
but the woman from soft surfaces said they've never been going with undersold. It's like the old John Lewis adage. So when you look at the quotes, they're quite hard to read in places because they don't actually talk about things in the same way, but when you actually drill down underneath, what they're actually doing is virtually like for like, you know, the sort of materials they're using.
They're not using the same description.
No, they haven't. They've done it, the soccer one does it in certain stages, and the Rencourt one talks about it in different stages, but when you actually take it down to, I think there's about 6 stages in all, when you take it down to each individual stage, there's very much.
It's cleaned, it's brushed, it's cleaned, it's treated, tarmac binder, several coats of paint, line jobs.
So it's the same process, isn't it?
Yeah.
One of the soft surfaces said they actually put more than a tarmac binder on. They actually put a polymer on. But I couldn't find any specification details for that. So I think it's all in the terminology of what you call a tarmac binder, and you know whether you do 1 coat, 2 coats, and some of them are saying they will apply a tarmac binder, and then the other one says we will have 2 coats of a tarmac binder. So it's just that sort of, you know, what is actually in the wording of what they're saying they're going to do.
Yeah,
So
so
once
applying
we
a tarmac
decide-
binder, you never apply 4 coats of it.
Yeah. So once we decide if we want to go with that route, then obviously contractors can get together and specify more specifically what we're expecting from them, and get them to sign to say that that's what we would expect. But they were much more doable and time related to the sort of 30+ grand for tarmac, completely tarmacking. Because there was 3 quotes, wasn't there, for the completely tarmacking?
Yes.
And they were all 29 grand, 30 grand, 35 grand.
Yes.
So given that we don't know what the longevity of that MUGA is in that position, whether we're going to have a building on it or whatever, it would seem a very false economy to put 30k in and then 2 or 3 years later literally put a building on it and then have to move it somewhere else.
I learnt something, I just recently learnt something very significant about that patch, which is that it is not solid concrete underneath.
Right.
It is a porous base, so it can actually drain vertically. Which is one reason why the existing tarmac surface has tended to blow, because the water can get in and freeze.
Does that mean something?
Is that saying it's not going to be
This is
suitable?
Is that
incidental.
not, is that not, is that, does
Not
that mean
with
it's
the
not going to be
foundation.
suitable? Does that mean it's not going to be suitable for the build, we would have to.
You would have to put a foundation in for a building.
Or at least get it professionally, somehow professionally stress tested, but at least
And the client will usually check.
take some core samples or something, have a proper engineer's inspection of it. Yes.
My personal thoughts on it at this moment is that we go with the metaphor, looking at them, because I think based on the reference that we've had for them, that it represents a reasonable investment to get that court back into a usable
Yes.
situation. What happens with that court ongoing, I think, looking at the grant situation and the requirements of the village as it currently stands, the likelihood of us getting an all-weather pitch is going to be slim. There are other suitable places where we could put a building that would be of a sufficient size, and to get it back into use, it's the whole argument that if it's being used, then we can show that it's being used and then go for funding to get something else. If it's not being used, then there's no evidence to show that we actually have a requirement for it. And what we need to do is get it back used again. You know,
Yeah.
I would be perfectly comfortable with it getting 3 years use of having a benefit surface on it, and then if something miraculous happens, it being used for dog exercise, enclosed dog exercise area forevermore after that, if I get a different court put down there, which there is also a requirement for, which people are asking for, and it's what is getting used for more than anything at the moment, is people with dogs that don't have recall go and use that court to throw a ball. And I think, you know, that at the moment does represent a decent investment for us just to get it being used again. Whether or not it then is a suitable surface to put a modular building on, it's a good question.
And it's another couple of years down the
You
line.
know, and I think the pre-planning that we've put in to know whether or not we just want to know if we can put a building down the rec field at the end of the day, and that in itself, even if that building does not go in that exact position, it's just knowing that we're going to be able to put a building down there. And I'm not going to get upset, you know, about it not going in a position that I suggest or anything like that. And I think, you know, we just, you know.
The thing is, with we don't have a timeline for how long it would take to get a building down there,
No.
but we do have a timeline for how people want to use that area.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's a
it's
need,
gone
and I
on
think
for
we do need
long
to
enough,
move it
and it would have
forward.
been lovely if we could have got, you know, big decisions wrapped up more quickly, but it's just, there's not the financial climate for it. And yeah, so, and the thing is that it's, that they recommend, how often are they recommending that we get these courts resurfaced?
Well, the one at Scotland has been done 5 years now.
Yeah,
And they're saying that effectively it should be good for another 3,
yeah,
possibly more.
right.
But it just depends on the weather and the way in which the weather affects. Our court is a very different kettle of fish to where theirs is,
Yeah,
and the weather affects it much greater effect. And the sort of boards that we have around the bottom and stuff trap water and debris and stuff,
Right.
and that doesn't help either. So looking at the boards around the bottom to make sure there's proper good drainage out of there and would also be a way forward when we get that surface done.
Can we still look at the condition?
Sorry?
The boards.
Yes,
So,
I mean,
they
could
look
do with a bit
tatty. They look tatty.
it's too
Was
much.
it
preservative or paint or something.
Is there not a couple of places where they do need repairs that was identified by ROSPA? Is it worth
About the boards.
I think,
Oh,
I think the net might, the mesh in places
Yes.
is a bit rot,
Yes,
but the boards seem to be fairly solid and fairly
they,
sort of,
oh crap, excuse me.
more healthy diet, please.
That's lovely.
Crackle well.
Let me try and say it. Because the boards look so tatty, I feel that they don't get graffitied. If we paint them up and make them look smart, that generally seems to be an invitation for graffiti.
There is graffiti on
There
the
is a bit,
boards, yeah.
Yes, but it's
It's minimal.
minimal.
But if we just use a wood preservative just to literally coat them, then graffiti wouldn't necessarily show any more than it does now. It's just a case of permeating the board with a preservative rather than a paint. I'm not saying a paint solution is the right idea.
What I've seen, I have looked at the boards and a few of them are beginning to delaminate, which is the biggest problem, because it's a gap where water could run in. So they are, the end of their life is looming, but I would think another five years anyway.
But we can replace those board by board if we needed
Yes.
to.
And remedial works on them is fairly simple, isn't it?
Yes.
You know,
It's,
Yeah, like we get this stuff, we give them like a big part of the look.
we're just saying rather than paint, which might encourage graffiti.
Or why don't we
To do a bit
Well,
of
why don't we encourage graffiti?
Get an
Because
artist.
it's not a proper art form.
there's
You can get a graffiti artist in and do actually like we do it.
I know a good graffiti artist if you need a graffiti artist.
There you go.
You just said it wasn't.
We won't tell you,
This is a thing between the person I know and me that we have this
Well,
ongoing
it's-
battle.
I'll put
There's
the
one
down.
around, because if you walk up to the top of the
They budget
to the A1, the underpass, wonderfully.
There's a lot of new,
Sparkle in your eyes talking about it as
there's a lot
well.
of new stuff appeared there recently.
Haven't been up there, haven't been there.
So are we recommending going ahead with the Renault Court?
Yes.
All those in favour of recommending, crack on.
Are we, I don't know if we can take a decision on it. I'm going to ask the
Yeah,
the parish association to
yes,
do it.
I would.
Okay, so to have the, ticking box. That's it.
And then draw up a contract between us and Brennan Court to make sure that we get all the things promised, like the gravel put in certain places and stuff like that.
That's just so they put the gravel in bags, but I mean, all we need to do is
Yeah,
take
we
the
allow.
car, wheelbarrow the car park.
So we're recommending that contracts with agree with that then. So, like,
we need to, even though I haven't got a guarantee. I think we
Yes,
just
we've
need
got
to.
to-
Yeah, this needs to be a
We've got
first.
to nail it down to say these are the things that we are expecting. From what you've said, these are the things that we are expecting you to deliver. And just which lines we want to put on and stuff like that.
Yes,
I'm assuming they can't do it till spring,
probably not.
just for the temperatures and stuff like that, for the way the paints.
He did say sort of the end of October would be the cut-off point, but we're not.
Yeah, so like,
We can't possibly
so
get
then we
a
get it
moving
sorted
at
out
that
then.
so it'll have to be.
I think it needs to be at least I've seen people play basketball and football down there at the two sports I've seen. There's no nets, so I don't see the point in any sort of tennis play out.
We had nets, where did the nets go?
But the post
I knew you had.
post anchor points have been filled in the concrete.
So we can't put tennis back, because I know a lot of
You've
people,
got very tangled things.
a lot of people from here go up to Swollen to play tennis, so there is a demand for tennis. It just depends whether we can deliver or not.
You get some of those like hard, like solid, you get solid, more solid nets, can't you, that aren't going to tangle up the whole time.
It's like sheep fencing.
We should take like a 8
You could
Do
just
you
wheel
want
like a
eight,
sack,
but then
wheels
just-
on the sack, wheels to the
wasn't a
side,
hinge out and
just when it gets hit into the balls and gets broken.
I think we like the idea of something that we could have in a lockbox down there, so that when people would, because it would be a bookable.
That
Resource.
yeah, but that was going to be expensive.
Mm.
I think if we get the service done first and then.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay.
you could get lines for a tennis court, I guess, but they're going to be fairly similar to basketball and that anyway.
Netball.
That's what makes sport good.
Are we done?
No,
Or
the
the net.
walking netball.
Walking netball, yeah.
There's a very big demand for that.
Oh yeah.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
For the elderly.
What?
Pickleball.
Oh, it was in, where did I see it? It was
It's
in Portugal. And like,
They play it at Woodburn now.
yeah, it was like mad the club they have there. And people play it on like the one.
That's one of those things that's absolutely go on.